State of the Union night. Congressman Lieu, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What did you think of the president's speech tonight?
I thought it was a fantastic speech. I thought President Obama showed why the American people elected him twice. He really inspires the best angels of the American character, and I really enjoyed the speech.
Now, I mean, the first interview that we had tonight was with a Republican, and they said the president's created a culture of divisiveness here in Washington, in this building. Do you think that's true?
I don't see how you could see that speech and come away with that thought. We're all listening to the same English language. I thought he tried very hard to have a unifying speech. It was actually fairly nonpartisan, and he was really looking out towards the future and trying to talk about how we can fix our political system, how we can work on reducing carbon pollution, and how we can strengthen our country against terrorists.
Well, and I think that's exactly right. I think if you look at the speech carefully and you watch, if you look at, and I read it and watched it.
Right.
First, he talks about because we've heard from the 16 or so people running for office, the number changes every day, that America is in decline. We need to make America great again. Right. But what the president sort of, I thought, did a really good job of painting was that we've always been great and we're still great.
Right.
And this is just a misnomer they've created.
Right. Yeah, I have no idea what that means, make America great again, because clearly 7 years ago, America was not great. We're in the midst of a major financial meltdown, and President Obama took us out of it. We've had 70 straight months of job creation, cut our unemployment rate in half, reduced the deficit by over $1 trillion. So Obama's absolutely correct. We're the most powerful nation in the world, period. I don't really understand all this talk about how America is in decline, because we're not.
So what do you say to what do you say to all those folks? So the president last week outlined sort of his plan on slowly trying to take a chip out of gun violence, right? A chip, because I think the NRA's control is just so vast, right? And immediately before I think folks even read the executive order, they automatically opposed it. And it could have said the Second Amendment's great. They were like, well, Obama said it, so the Second Amendment's bad. Like, how does that venom affect policymaking here in this building?
Well, so the American people actually didn't oppose it. If you look at all the polling, the overwhelming majority of American people support background checks. They support not having guns get in the hands of people who shouldn't have them. It is elected officials at state and federal levels, primarily in the Republican Party, who do oppose that. So there is this big gap between what the American people think and what some of the elected officials think. And that goes to what President Obama was saying tonight about fixing our political system, having both parties do more to work together.
And so moving forward, right? There's about less than a year left in his presidency.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you think gets done in this chamber with the president and Congress and Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell working together? Well,
there is one issue, and keep in mind, all of us across America deal with 1,000 issues every day.
Sure.
I think there's one issue that can kill us as a species if we don't deal with it. That's climate change. And I'm very proud that President Obama, along with 200 nations, came to an agreement to reduce carbon pollution. And then through executive actions, they can really start to implement that. And it's my hope that we can work together, because even if you're not persuaded that climate change is being caused by humans, you can at least agree that it is happening. And so you can work on things to mitigate climate change. How do we make our coastal areas more resilient to sea levels that are rising? How do we make sure that the middle of America deals better with droughts and more extreme weather events? So there's still areas you can work on in terms of climate change that both parties can agree to.
And how does it get done? You think it gets done this year in this Congress?
I think, first of all, in politics, I believe everything is impossible until it happens, right?
I love it.
Until it happens. And if, 15 years ago, you heard, if you were to hear me say, yeah, we're going to have gay marriage in all 50 states, you would think I'd be smoking weed. But we have gay marriage in all 50 states. And it is really what makes America amazing, that every now and then we surprise people and do some amazing things in this country.
You said smoking weed, so I've got to ask the question. Yeah. So the president also talked about criminal justice reform and the front end and back end of that reform. Yeah. And we've had other members talk about, if we're going to fix the system, we've got to fix the front end, sort of get rid of the laws that created Ronald Reagan's war on drugs, and two, fix the back end. Are you a supporter of that, and how do we do it? How do we get it done?
Absolutely. So since we're talking about weed, I think it is totally stupid that the federal government criminalizes weed. and criminalizes marijuana. We should not have people sitting in prison or jail because of marijuana. It should be regulated, sold like a prescription drug. It's been shown to have beneficial effects for people who have certain symptoms. I come from California, where we have legalized medicinal marijuana. California has an amazing booming economy. It is an amazing state, and legalizing marijuana certainly has not caused any of the amazingly bad things that are supposed to have happened. So first of all, at the federal level, we just need to stop criminalizing marijuana. I also think we need to stop mandatory sentences. We have courts and people and juries because every case is different. And to have mandatory sentences that lock people in prison for very long periods of time, not only is inefficient and wasteful resources, it also is simply un-American.
I love it. It is simply un-American. We at the Fowler Show couldn't agree more. Thank you, Congress, for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.